Greetings and welcome to ValoU. I'm Zaladrith and I'll be your instructor for today. Today's class is Macro 160, In-Game Roles, playing Entry. The Entry Fragger is the vanguard or forwardmost player of the main force. An Entry's job is to be the first to use their body to discover enemies and are the likeliest to make first contact with the enemy since they're in the lead. If at any point an ally overtakes them, that ally automatically becomes the new Entry Frag. A slow Entry Fragger can slow down the entire team, or force the team to select another entry, so it's important to learn how to perform all of your expected duties quickly. The most important of these duties is checking every corner you pass. If the entry forgets this critical job, then an enemy with good trigger discipline could wipe out your entire team, since the entry is expected to check it. The second duty is to always be ready to fight. This means to have your gun out. If an enemy aggressively swings the team while they have utility out, you have to be ready to protect them. And most of the time, you'll be the one aggressively swinging, and there's no point doing that with no weapon. Your third duty is to break enemy crosshair placement. If you close peek every corner, then your teammates behind you can't swing the enemies without lining up, and risking getting collided. Duelists often have abilities that help with this job, such as a flash or a movement ability like a dash. If you have no such utility though, then the simplest technique you can use while still being able to fight is to just wide swing. This leaves enough space for teammates to close swing behind you while you draw the enemy's attention and gunfire. Your fourth duty is callouts. Since you're the first to see the enemies, you're also the first person that can possibly tell allies where they are, if enemies manage to get away or if you die from an unexpected angle. Familiarizing yourself with common callouts that are universal to all maps, such as double stack boxes, heaven, hell, etc. is a good start, but sometimes a simple close left will do. The last thing that makes for a great entry fragger is coordinating with the team. You have to keep in mind how tradable you are as you move around, and try to maximize the number of skirmishes where you have numbers or other advantages over the enemies, while minimizing disadvantaged skirmishes. If your team gets divided by enemy utility, or if your tempo is simply too fast and your team can't keep up, then you're not fulfilling your job to the highest potential. As soon as you notice that your team is split up, you need to change your tempo to match them. This is one of the least noticeable, but also extremely common mistakes that plague most entry players. It's also possible to have multiple entries at the same time. In this clip, I lead my team in, but in the process of chasing down one of the enemies, I realized that I've been split off from my team. If I kept going at the same pace I was going before, I would be the only one fighting and absorbing pressure from enemies. My teammates are still in main and not ready to fight yet, so at this point I'm no longer part of the main force, and they now have a new entry leading that group. So I shift from entry for team mode in order to play to maximize the time that I'm alive. I completely stop my tempo and just play the safest location I have, sword defending against a heaven peak, and I'm shielded from the rest of the enemies by my teammates covering fire. Once I realize though that the enemies are pinned down, I switch to playing for trades, and surprise the remaining enemies. In this next clip, I entry in a more typical fashion. While dashing in, I try to look both left and right to clear the first dangerous 50-50 angles. I then smoke my right side to temporarily shield me from any other enemies that are defending the site from farther away, and try to peek ladders at the same time that my team does. Note that at this point, I'm pretty much shielded from every possible location that my allies cannot trade me at. At this point though, I decide to start taking risks. I know full well that no one is close enough to trade me, but I figure it's important enough to clear back sight that I have to do it alone. If I don't, then an enemy playing there can swing us at any time, leaving almost no safe spaces on the entire site. Waiting also gives the enemies more time to rotate, and it also gives me less time to start getting aggressive in preparation for post-plant. The most important skill for an entry player is confidence. An entry that is afraid to enter can halt a team in its tracks. If it takes any pressure off, remember that it doesn't matter if you die, so long as you perform all your other duties. Good entries also often have good gunfight mechanics and gunfight hygiene, which increases the likelihood that they threaten kills and survive fights. If you don't have those skills, it might actually be a good idea to just play duelist and entry more to build those skills up, since everyone will need to entry at some point, and duelist players are expected to practice entering the most. Practice range and DM experience are great for learning mechanics, but the only way to transfer those skills into real games is by using them in real games while under pressure. In summary, the entry is the forwardmost player in a group of players. The entry should check all corners, always have their gun out, break enemy crosshair placement, give callouts, and coordinate with their team by trying to stay tradable. Good entries have confidence, gunfight mechanics, and gunfight hygiene. And playing duelist and actually entering is one of the best ways to improve those three skills. That's all for today's lesson. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the lecturer or the TAs in the comments below. Thanks for attending, and we hope you enjoy your stay here at ValoU.